Good morning, everybody. It is August 9th. It's not August 9th. It's September 9th. It is 8:11 a.m. Welcome to my channel. Big sell off. Blood in the streets on Friday. We had the unemployment and non-farm payrolls, kind of like a nothing burger, in my opinion, but didn't matter. It didn't matter. Even though unemployment actually went down, it didn't matter. Seasonality in September, usually bearish, and October. Who knows what's going to happen? We're getting a nice bounce right now in the markets. That's to be expected. Definitely, people are shorting these pops here. That's what's the theme has been going on lately with this VIX being high. Um, I on Friday, oh, did I miss my short? And you'll see today what I'm talking about. Just came up to a key level, and I was like 2 seconds from going, and I wanted to see a little more confirmation, and I wound up getting a nice short later, but it could have been a monster. But it was so bloody red, the internals on Friday. Then you get that pop out of nowhere from Fed Waller speaking, but that was going to be short lived. That was just people trying to get out uh, of their longs they had. Pretty much, I knew that was probably going to happen. When you get a big pop like that, you go, "Oh my God, I can get out of this." So that's kind of what happened. All right, what's going on this morning? Like I said, we got the pop. We'll get into some stuff today. But without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in this market. I also use supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day, anchored VWAPs as well. That's my edge, folks. That's my edge. It's the way I look at the market every day for the day trades, right? I do another thing for like swing trades on the weekends, but we don't go over that in here because it's too long. So, but this is how I every day hit the market, right? That's my setup. That's my foundation, right? It's just basically a roadmap I like to follow every morning, and shows up on my charts, these levels, and then we make plans, all right? And hopefully you guys can join me on my plans by subscribing. All right? I'm trying to get this subscribers up. I don't know what's going on with some of these YouTube shorts. I don't know what's going on. There's some algorithm I'm not getting into. I used to get a lot of views on them, but I don't know. I gotta look into that. However, every day I do this at 8:10 a.m. Hopefully you can have a cup of coffee. You drive it in your car. You want to know what happened on Friday. You want to know what happens this morning. You want to know what's going on with the news, what stocks are leading, lagging, upgrades, downgrades. We all go over that every day. All right. Every day we go over that. Then we go over daily charts, and of course the main event, usually 8:30. I go over the Nasdaq and the ES futures using market profile and volume profile. I do long and short trade scenarios, and then once the market opens, a whole different analysis. But the game plan is in front of you guys live, live. All right. The game plan is in front of you live. Now, if you enjoy my content, please smash the like button. That would be much appreciated. And you can always follow me on X. That's at Gonzo719. And if you want to look at my day trades, I made a lot of reels there with my day trades, my criteria. All right. You can follow me at Gonzo719 Trader on TikTok, and of course my YouTube channel. You can go to my shorts there. Okay. Now, let's get into this. We're getting volatility. We're getting ranges. Let's look at the futures watch list here. All right, let's check it out here. Now, getting some pop here in crypto. You got Ether, Bitcoin. Ether's up 4.08. All right. Bitcoin is up 3.21. The 10-year yield is up 1.08%, the 3.74 yield. Crude's bouncing. That is up 1.08%. Silver's up a percent. The Nasdaq's up 0.65. It was up a lot more earlier. The Dow's up 0.62, ES up 0.59, the dollar's up 0.42. Gold is up 0.13, Russell's up 0.12, 30-year bonds being sold, no surprise there. Meaning that's why the 10-year yield is up, and the VIX is down 4.69%. It was actually down more than that. It was almost down to 20 earlier. Okay, so that's what's going on in the futures. Heading over to the Mag 7 Plus. Let's see what we got here. Boeing ended a union agreement. That's why they're up. They came to terms with the union. They're up 3.91%. That stock's been hit pretty hard. Tesla up 1.99. Coinbase up 1.87, or 1 point, almost 2% now as I'm speaking. AMD's up 1.06, Amazon's up 1.05, Nvidia's up 1.04. I mean, these are all up pretty significantly here. And Microsoft 0.92, Meta 0.91, Berkshire Hathaway 0.65, Broadcom 0.62, Snowflake, woof. Wow, that stock's been getting obliterated. That's up. JP Morgan, okay, Netflix, GE up 0.48. I got my eye on GE. All right. Google up 0.46. Apple has that event today announcing the iPhone 16 with artificial intelligence incorporated in. I read today that it's really not about hardware, it's more about software integration of AI. We'll have to see how that pans out. All right, let's move over to top sectors here. Let's see what's going on here. Qualcomm's up 0.88, Eli Lilly up 0.81, Uber up 0.60, Salesforce up 0.59, Chevron's up 0.52, and Morgan Stanley up 0.42. All right, let's get down to laggard. There is one. There is not a laggard here. No laggard to speak of there. Let's go to the swing trade list. See who's leading the pack there. Palantir. Okay. Palantir is being added to the S&P 500, I believe, on September 23rd. That is getting a lot of love because of that. All right. Dell as well being added to the S&P 500. That is up 5.14%. Okay. Tilray's up 3.7. Bitcoin ETF's up 3.22. Donald Trump stock up 3.22. ARM semi up almost 3%. Western Alliance, I believe that is, the regional banks up 3%. MicroStrategy's up 2.49. Mara's up 2.32. Carvana 1.75. Riot up 1.72. Taiwan Semiconductors are up. Marvel, PayPal, JetBlue got an upgrade, I believe. Applied Materials up 1.3. Shopify, Arc, Micron, and Celsius. Celsius is getting destroyed. Let's look at laggards. We got Workday. Workday's down 2.59. Merck down 2.28. AMC down 1.61. Trade Desk down 1.56. GameStop down 1.34. Not a lot of laggards here. All right, moving on to the guts, to the sectors. Let's see. All right, semis usually means when they're up, that's risk on. They're up 1.07%. Okay. Technology, largest weighted sector in the S&P 500, it's up 0.87. Obviously, technology encompasses the semis. All right. Now you got discretionary up 0.79, financials up 0.68, industrials up 0.52, utilities. I mean, everything's up. All right, we're bouncing. We sold off pretty hard. So this is kind of expected a little bit. Will this be a dead cat bounce? Don't know. Okay, don't know. But there is not a laggard. Now, can this be a little bounce for people to go, I'm out of here? Maybe. Maybe. Right? Maybe. So we got CPI and PPI this week. They're expecting the headline to go down pretty significantly. So that is the sectors. All right, I think we can move on now to economic calendar. Some news. All right, let's go to that. All right. Today's pretty light. There is some news today, but the impact is one star. So You can see today there's wholesale inventories, New York Fed Treasury purchases, consumer inflation expectations at 11. You got 3-month bill auction, all that stuff, but none of it's really high impact. All right. Tomorrow you got crude, API, and then on Wednesday, there you go. You got core inflation, and you got headline CPI. They're expecting it to go down to 2.6. It was at 2.9. Core inflation is expected to stay sticky at 3.2. PPI, core PPI, looking for an uptick in core PPI. Oh, that's month over month. That's month over month. I don't know why they don't have it. I have to go to the 1 star to see the PPIs, but the big one really is CPI. You got a 10-year note auction on 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay, that's the economic calendar. Okay, I don't have to go into too much earnings this week. The only thing to note maybe is Adobe. Is Costco reporting this week? I don't think they are, but earnings 920. No, I think it's Adobe's really the only one. I don't really have to go into that too much. On the news front, let's look at news. Okay. Now the Boeing I talked about, they agreed with their union, came to a settlement. Let's see, shares in crypto-related stocks like digital coin exchange Coinbase and crypto miners CleanSpark and Marathon Digital advanced prior to the opening bell. Bitcoin, the world's most well-known digital token, gained on Monday. Right? Palantir, I already talked about, and Dell adding to the S&P. That's about all to talk about there. Let's see if the juice has anything really. I don't think the juice has anything either. Let's look at upgrades and downgrades. All right, so upgrades. Let's see then. JetBlue upgraded. All right, underperformed the neutral with a price target of 6. Anything else to note? United States Steel upgraded from neutral to overweight. All right, let's go to downgrades. Nothing really. Colgate, Palmolive downgraded from a buy to a hold. That's really it there. Initiations. Let's see here. Anything to note? Initiations. All right, you got Block initiated at neutral. That's nothing exciting there. Price target changes. Let's go there. We got, let's see, Roblox target raised 47 to 51. The Nasdaq exchange target raised 78 to 80. Now we go target lowered. Not much here. Not much there. Let's go over here. All right, so we talked about the Apple iPhone 16 will put AI features in focus. Apple on Monday set to unveil its iPhone 16 lineup, focusing how its flagship device features have been infused with artificial intelligence. All right, Google started antitrust. Talked about now Musk denies report his XAI in talks over Tesla revenue. I think that's there's not much else to talk about here. I already looked at this. I know Walt Disney and DirecTV are having right now. If you're a DirecTV owner, you don't have ABC or any of those channels. I believe that would encompass ESPN, all those channels. So that's not good. They're in talks. All right, DirecTV is accusing them of like what does it say here? Unreasonable conditions. That's what they're really accusing them of. All right. I think we're ready for daily charts here. All right. We are ready for daily charts. Let's go to that. All right. Zoom in here. Now I had some notes. I always do my analysis over the weekend. All right. Now SPY didn't really come to any kind of necessarily any particular point. Maybe this little candle here filled this gap. right? Came really to the bottom of this candle. That's the only significance right here, this level right here. All right, now you do have a Fibonacci we can talk about. If you go from this move down here all the way to the top, which would be right there, 50% Fibonacci is 537.24. Okay, so we're not quite at the 50%. 100-day moving average is right here, 61.8. Last line of defense is 530.87. Okay, 530.87. Key levels. Let's see if there's any key levels here. I have 531 as a key level, 531.52. So those haven't got really hit yet. Back to trend lines. All right. Now, let's look at what we're doing now. 543.40, let's call it. 543.30, 40. Right here. We're still at the lower third of Friday's session. So that's not bullish. That's bearish. Let's just see what we do. Okay, let's look at the live look of futures. So you can see right here, here's that session, and we're right here. Getting a little bit of selling wick now. Now futures, we're right above that 100-day moving average. Okay, right above the 100-day moving average. All right, that's what the SPY and the ES are looking like. Let's go to the Qs. Now the Qs, okay, the QQQ, there is stuff to talk about, right? Now I can show you this chart real quick. I'm going to add something. I'm going to add the year-to-date anchored VWAP here. This white line, that level is 445.43. 200-day moving average is right here. So the Qs, right? Now, if I zoom out, that's the beginning of the year. Tried to break the year-to-date anchor VWAP once, failed. Tried it again with the Japan carry trade right here. Bounced up. Now we're going towards it again, the 200-day moving average. So I think initially, if we do go through them, I don't see this. I don't know. I mean, does it cut right through it? I don't know. And if it has to do this very quickly, and I think it will bounce here. So, but this is very interesting here, this area, okay, with the anchor VWAP from the year. Okay, very key levels here, 441, 445, okay. So you can see the weak structure we kind of took out. And then you got a little consolidation here. That's what I'm saying. All right, that's what I'm saying. Where's the Qs now? The Qs now is 451.60. 451.60, about right here. Okay, lower third of Friday. All right, lower third of Friday. Don't even really have much of a wick here. That just shows how strong the selling was. Okay, 200-day moving average 441.38. Anchored V up for the year 445. Okay, let's look at the NASDAQ futures. All right, NASDAQ futures. So that doesn't, the anchor VWAP for that doesn't count because this is a back adjusted contract. So let's look at this. See, we're just the lower third of the session on Friday. Okay, this is not bullish, it's more bearish, but we just have to see. We're getting a bounce. It's a much expected bounce. All right, we just have to really see what we do from here. Okay, now we're going to go to that triple-headed monster. Let's start it off with the 10-year yield. Okay, start off with the 10-year yield. And let's see what we're doing here. Now we have that swing low here, right here, and then we kind of pushed down, pushed up. Now we pushed down again. You see we came all the way down to 3.68, and now we're kind of bouncing up. Remember, we got CPI this week. Okay, you got CPI this week. And you got the 10-year auction coming up tomorrow, I believe, or Wednesday. Okay. Now, let's look at the other heads of the monster. Now, we got the dollar. The dollar got that swing low too right here. That's trying to work off. It's just in a range here. pushed up. Look at those double wick right here. Boom and boom. Okay. So that must mean that the euro is a little weak. It's always the inverse usually of the euro. But let's look at the VIX. We can look at the yen and the euro later. Here's that VIX. The VIX is at 21.35. So we're looking at still nice volatility, and the relative volume is high. So summer trading's over, and we got nice ranges in this market. Okay. Remember, 16. The VIX is 30 days out of fear, and a 16 VIX is a 1% expected move plus or minus in the S&P 500. So 21 over at 21 VIX is nice. Okay. Now let's look at the euro. Like I said, and that euro is pushing down as expected. It's got support right here. Let's see if that breaks. That should propel the dollar higher. Then we got the yen. And the yen is, whew, I mean, this is interesting. This is when the Japan carry trade unwound. Look, we're heading towards this again. So very interesting here that the yen is just pulled back and showing strength. So you have to keep an eye on the yen. Okay, that is that. All right. Now, a couple things I can show you guys. Just sector to note. Okay, XLK. Look at the XLK. Look at the year-to-date VWAP on it, that white. We broke it. So XLK usually follows QQQ pretty closely. This smashed through and closed underneath the 200-day moving average. Right? Right now we're at 205. We're underneath it. Boy. This could move down to 192. So that encompasses your Microsoft, your Apple, your Nvidia. Okay, your Broadcom. So that is pretty tricky to come down to there, right? Now semis pretty much look exactly like your technology. I mean, look at it. It's pretty much very similar. And Nvidia is such a heavy weight, okay? But look, through the year-to-date VWAP, through and closed below the 200-day moving average. So this is there's such relatively weak sectors, okay? And they're heavyweight, especially XLK. It's a heavy-weighted sector, okay? Now, these are some of the notes that from the weekend. Now, what was happening previous to this while this was weak, right? And the market was moving higher. Why was it moving higher? Well, let's look at it. Financials was on a tear. Look at financials. Whoop. Berkshire Hathaway was a monster. Look at this. Boom. But now look, it's pulling back. So that's why we had overall selling on Friday. Financials pulled back more or less last week, right? These were leading, right? Which another one, healthcare. Look at healthcare. All-time highs here. Finally, boom, gotten some selling, right? This is what moves the market. XLI, industrials, same thing. Look at it, popped all the way up here and pulled back last week. So those sectors finally joined tech in selling off. Now what is not joining the case? Utilities. Okay. Once these Fed starts cutting rates, people are going to flock to dividend-paying stocks. Okay, that's your NEE, your Duke, and utilities. Okay. What else are they going to flock to? Staples. Okay, it's your General Mills, your Coca-Cola, your Costco, your Walmart, your Procter & Gamble, your PepsiCo. Look at the staples. Okay, people are going to flock to them. Just give you an example on General Mills. Look at General Mills chart. You think people are preparing for something, right? You can also look at NEE. Just a nice steady move up. Okay. Now energy, I don't know, it's bottoming out, but look at energy. Okay, under the year-to-date VWAP. Okay, under the 200-day moving average, but a key level here. A key level. Now, if we go into recession, that's lower demand for oil. Okay, but we're just at key levels. Crude's bottoming out. All right, this could make a run. Don't know when. Okay, that's just stuff I'm looking at. And the one sector I'm really, really interested in is the XLI industrials with GE. So we'll have to see. All right, I gave you a little bonus there to look inside the guts with the sectors. Okay, hopefully you guys got something out of that. Now we can go to the main event, market profile, volume profile. Okay, boom. Not sure who we got with me today. Could it be G-Man? Could it be Rosita? Rosita's very busy. Not sure. Those are the faithfuls that usually show up here, even though I have more viewers than that, a little more that I don't know, and maybe don't talk in the chat. But welcome if you're new. All right. We're going to talk about the structure here. All right. This is where we talk about structure. Structure is king. Hey, Muhammad. Hey, G-Man. Structure is king, folks. Now, what I've noticed, okay, last week, especially when volatility when volatility is high, the VIX, and volume is high, what I've noticed, okay, is my internals that I look at. That's my bread and butter to see the guts of the market, how it's moving, right? They are less as important. They're still important, but they're less because stuff changes on a dime, okay? So you really have to be nimble with structure. Now, let's get my market right. I want to explain exactly why, because my plan worked out. It just was so quick. Okay? All right, my plan worked out, but it was just so quick. I want to show you this. The market opened here. Look where that market went to. The most traded price of the week. Right where I wanted it. Even in SPY, it hit the gamma flip point. And I was like, oh boy. It was so quick. I was like, man, this could be a good short. And then I was waiting for a pullback, a nice pop up. I didn't get that because look, I'm going to show you. Look what happened. This is called an open test drive. You opened, you tested up, you drove. Look at the thin volume of that drive down. That was just okay. Am I going to get a pullback here? And then Fed Waller was the first time you really got a nice pullback. That is thin volume. And I was just like being patient. I did short after that Fed Waller and got a decent trade. But man, oh man, because the internals, boy, I'm veering off today. I have a little extra time because I don't have to take my daughter to. So I'm going to show you these internals. Let me show you these internals. All right. These things. Let me show you these things. Blood in the streets. I mean, this reading, I'll give you an example. Look at this reading. I mean, this is internals right here. This is the weighted AD. This is my bread and butter here. Look at that. Okay, had a weakness that day, right? But then look at the blood in the streets, boy. You just had the Nasdaq, the ADD of the Nasdaq 100 was negative 83. It just is very bearish. The Valdez were at 3-to-1 selling to buying ratio. I mean, look, tech was down 2.51. I mean, it was bloody. Okay, bloody. So just wanted to show you that. I was like begging for a pullback. I was like, oh my God. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, right? Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about structure. All right, what do we got here? So now you guys know, hopefully, I'm gonna talk about that bow and arrow, the slingshot. All right, now most traded price of the week. Where are we at? 55.35 about. All right here. Most 24 hours here. So this area, that market. Okay, the market needs to bring this most traded price and have value follow price. You need to bring that most traded price of the week down lower. That would be bearish. That's what we did prior. We brought it down, and then the move happened down. Okay. Now, if that doesn't happen, we can't establish value down here. Price returns back to value. Okay. That's one. Okay. Now, let's look at where we're at now. We're underneath the most traded price of the week, so structure is bearish. This is the 100-day moving average. In futures, we hit that, and we're, holding under it. Holding under it. Okay. Now, let's look at some key levels. All right. I really like this chart right now. Really like it. We have a couple things to note here. And setting up beautifully, possibly for a nice short again. Right. I'll tell you why. Let's look at some key levels. Now you have the 50% retracement at the midpoint of Friday's session. That's 54.71. That lines up with single prints. Single prints. That is poor structure. If this market gets strong, woof, woof. Inverse. We got the inverse. Inverse toothpick and the elephant. It's the inverse. I actually gotta do an inverse one. That's my next goal. I'm gonna turn it around, flip it around. All right. So very poor foundation up here. That was thin volume. Just boom. Okay. Poor structure. All right. Poor structure. Inverse elephant on a toothpick. Now, what do we got going on here? All right. Let's look at this together. We have a weak low here. Got a little bit here, but let's just see. See, now you got value area. Value area low happened to be the low. You got the close. You got overnight low here. Buyers need to defend that level. Okay, if that gets taken out, we're getting another leg lower. Another leg lower. All right. Now, a lot of stuff we got to talk about here. All right. You also got a weak high. This happens to be a weak high. Why? Overnight high, 100-day moving average, and value area high. So it's all about the overnight session. Okay. It's all about the overnight session. Right? 70%, let me remind you, 70% of the trade is the value area. That's the meat of trading. So what happens if 70% of the traders, price action goes here to those shorts? They're going to be in pain. 70% of the traders who are long, they're going to be in pain. That's why you mark off value areas. Okay? There's a lot of nuggets today. There's a lot of nuggets, all right? What else do we have? That's the only short activity to this much long. Okay, so that's, call it 95% net long overnight. What else do we have in our favor? We are at the upper third of the session. And the most traded price of the overnight is right here at 54.52. That's where we are right now. Okay, now this is why I said setting up for a fade. All right, why? Now, G-Man will probably already know what I'm going to say. Okay, the market likes to take care of new business before old. This is new business. This is your bounce. This could possibly be a dead cat bounce. Why? Everyone is long in the overnight, and the overnight hands are weak hands. They're not big boys. They're weak hands. Okay? And what's happening? Boom. Up here, holding the overnight highs right by the weak high. We talked about 100-day moving average, right? We're holding this. Longs are here. Most traded price of the overnight. Okay? So what if we do this? Boop. And we do that. What do you think these guys are going to do? We're going to correct. Now, we could just correct into this demand zone. Or you go farther and you rip down. You take out the weak low. Okay? Just imagine, this doesn't come into to matter as much because the most traded price, this is very bearish. The most traded price was down to the lows. That's why I'm saying this could be a dead cat bounce. All right. So very important. Like I said, a lot of key levels here, but it happens to be all jammed around the overnight high and low. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Now, with that being said, we can go into our scenarios. Okay. Go right into scenarios. Everybody with me so far? Is that making sense? I'm hoping it makes sense. All right. We're going to go with the bear scenario first. All right. What did I say before? You got confluence high, weak high. Okay. And right here, sellers need to step up. Anywhere, I would even include a little bit of the single prints up here. And you got your mid, your 50% retracement right here. But this volatility, you got to give it a little room. Okay, so what could I see happening? A couple things. We could just smash right up into here. And I want to see what happens in these single prints. It's everything. Single prints should not be resistance, okay? So if they are resistant and you see something like this and get rejected, oh boy. Okay, get ready. Because if we start to come down, okay, and go through the most traded price of the overnight, which are longs, you're going to correct. Now you have a demand zone here. Now, you could smash through it with weakness, or you could maybe bounce. But let's say we do that, and we take out that weak low down there, take out single prints from the past, and we're going to probably try to hit this demand zone down here around 53.80 something. Now, what also could happen? We could also just take out these longs right here and go right down to this demand, right? And then maybe you get a bounce, and then it rolls over, okay? Market could do what it wants. You just got to be prepared for it, okay? Now, let's go with longs, which are a little harder now of late, okay? They got to be quick with those longs. Oh, G-Man, you talking about from my scenario? Like, like I'm there rules to what I'm saying. All right, you can respond. I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, okay. I wouldn't call it rules. I wouldn't call it rules. I would call it more scenarios, like if then. Okay, that's really what it is. If then. Um, there's other rules like the bow and arrow, the slingshot thing I talked about. That's a rule. Okay. Other stuff like these scenarios aren't always rules. They're more like if this happens, this should happen. Okay. Now, let's talk about the long. Okay. Let's talk about the long. Now, demand zones right here. We got week to date VWAP now is now separate from the month to date VWAP, which is up here. Okay, so if I like to get long here, what do I want to see? Okay, one or two things can happen. Just the inverse. Exactly, Viking. Welcome, Viking. I haven't heard from you before. Welcome to my channel. Now, let's see if I want to be long. Now, we know we got a weak high here. Okay, we know this area here is 50% retracement of the move. Very important. People are going to pay attention to this. 100-day moving average and futures. Got a lot of stuff going on right here. Okay, got a lot of stuff going on. Okay, now we got demand down here, right here with week to day VWAP. We got a weak low. Okay, so of course sellers got to step up here. And let's clean this up. All right, now say what I want to see. So if we do this and we just do this and we come back in, right? And let's say we come down here and we start to find some support, right? Now, what's important about this? I don't know how strong the market will be how weak the market will be, what will be leading sector in the market. That all is another layer of analysis when the market opens. I don't know what that's going to be yet, right? But let's say tech is leading, semis are leading, okay, and we pull back. If I get some higher lows here, okay, now remember, this is still part of the new business before old business, because let's just say we do this, right? Think about this. Somebody's long from here. They get a push up. The first sign of selling, they might dump into our demand, right? The week to day VWAP. This could be it, right? This could be you're taking care of new business here. You don't have to take care of all of it. That's a little pullback, a little correction. Got to get liquidity. Now you have short liquidity here, right? So if we do this and we start to push up, well, guess what? That's the week high. And this is the test, okay? If the market is strong, we should rip through these single prints, okay? In here, maybe hold a little bit. If it's real strong, wham, right up to the most traded price of the week. Do I think that could happen? I don't know. But the structure is there for it. The market has to be strong, though. The market has to be strong. It will not work if the market isn't strong. Okay, but these single prints, all right, I'm gonna do it. I gotta do a new one. Inverse elephant. Think of it, turn that around. Very poor structure here. Okay, very poor. I don't think the odds of this, if I had to pick my long versus short, I like the short, but I'm not going to get rid of this long, right? But I think the story of the market is shorting pops, is seasonality, September bearish, we got an election coming, all this stuff going on. Like, I think I like that better, but if this presents itself, I'm not going to throw it away, right? That's kind of like, got to see here, okay? So that's one, right? I'm going to give you one. Two is this, all right? If, let's say, we just come up and we push up here and the market's really, really strong, I'm going to wait to see if we pull back. If it's really strong, I might go for the pullback to get up here, okay? It all depends, like I said, how the market opens. I don't know how it will. And there's usually another scenario that pops up when the market's open for me. So that's what I like right now, okay? That's what I like. Yeah, man. Overnight profiles definitely key. And that's one of the beauties, I'm being honest, that's one of the beauties of the why I love market profile. And it gets split out into sessions like this. Because people don't use, I mean, before market profile, I didn't buy in profile, I didn't split out sessions to overnight. I didn't look at the market like that, right? These are weak hands. This is your Asia and your London sessions in here. They're weak hands. They're not big time players. Okay? They're not big time players at all. And this happens a lot. And people don't know why sometimes this happens and this happens. Why did that happen? I don't understand it. Well, we were 100% net long in the overnight. You corrected it. That's it. Right? There's a lot of keys to it. But I only mention inventory if it's important, right? Right now, it's super important. Look at this. All right? This is all long after we just sold off. Now think about emotions. Comment two. Think about emotions. Okay? What if you were long and you didn't get out? And you're like, oh my God, this market's up. Any burst up, you could be like, I'm out. And that could be when we're in single prints. We could be right here. And people just go, I'm out, I'm getting out. And then we roll over, right? Trading is something else, boy. It's emotions, it's technicals, it's all this stuff. All right? I'm getting a little long-winded today. I think because I just like the chart a lot. So, and I didn't get the best sleep. but I don't think that's coming out right now. I think I'm pretty sharp right now, and I hope I'm making sense. And again, anybody has questions, just let me know. This is a beautiful example, though, of profile. All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful example. Okay. Now, the one other thing, let me just note that could happen and is important is this most traded price of the overnight. I'm gonna just say this: if the market's strong and we say we do this, right, and then what happens? We hold the most traded price of the overnight. That's bullish. Okay, I've seen this plenty of times where it comes down, we go like this, and then all of a sudden you're holding that price, and that could propel it as well. So I just wanted to add that to the thing. And now we're going to go to the NASDAQ. All right. Now the NASDAQ, ooh boy, we got an important level to talk about. All right. We got important levels to talk about. I'm getting a little long-winded today. All right. So let's talk about the NASDAQ. Okay. NASDAQ has been relatively weak. Now, remember, I talked about the XLK and the semis breaking through, closing below the 200-day moving average and the year-to-date anchor VWAP. Okay, that just means, just so you guys understand, if you don't understand, the year-to-date anchored VWAP, all that means is from the beginning of the year, the average buyer of the of the XLK or the semis is underwater for the whole year. The average buyer is currently underwater. They're losing money. That's the significance of VWAP. It literally is not like a 9 EMA. It's literally telling you from the beginning of the year, all longs are underwater. Significant, right? That's why I use anchor VWAPs. Now, that's why I use the week-to-date anchor VWAP, right? That's why I use the month-to-date anchor VWAP. Why isn't there not? I don't see my week-to-date on here. That's interesting. Usually it's on here. Anyway, there's the month-to-date VWAP, right? That's why I use it, because for I want to know for the month who's in control. Well, right here it's red. Price is down here, right? The week-to-date, I don't know why it's not up here. I don't see it, but I have a week-to-date and a week. Hold on a second, it's bothering me now. I just want to put it on a chart. Give me a second. I'm just going to put this on the chart. I don't know why I don't see it. Maybe I'm being blind to it, but I'm going to copy it. It's really easy. I'm just going to copy it. Here's that week date. We just copy and paste. There we go. Simple as that. Let me save it. Okay. So I've got a week-to-day VWAP here. All right, we're ready to roll. Let's look at structure. Okay. Now, same thing in this NASDAQ. It pushed up right underneath this 190 level. Same thing. And then just sold off. Okay. We don't got to go into detail. We know what happened. Okay. Similar setup right now. Very much looks like the ES. I don't have to go into a lot of detail. You guys can see the structure. Can you see that it's the same basically setup as the ES? Same. Beautiful. Because when they're in sync, that's when it's awesome. Because lately, a lot of times tech has been weaker and they're out of sync. All right. So we got the same scenarios. So the only thing that I would talk about that's really, really important here, okay, is this level. This level is the most traded price of this year. It's the most traded price of the rolling year. It's a monster level. Okay. Let me just reiterate to you right here. Look at this high volume node. It's a monster. Look at that thing. Friggin' Pinocchio. All right. So that is 185.45. Now, I've talked about this before. It's the line in the sand, folks. If we lose this, now we do have a high volume note here. We could be going back down to these monthly lows. This is such a crucial level. All right. Above it, bullish. Below it, bearish. Just want to show you how big that level is. Also lines up with what that I talked about. Year-to-date anchored VWAP in the QQQ. See, they all work together. All right. Now, let's go back. Now, key levels. Same scenario. Same scenario. Okay. Key levels. You got value area high and overnight high. That's a weak high. Right here. There's value area high from Friday. Overnight high. Guess what this is? 200-day moving average in futures. So we had the 100-day in the ES. Same thing. Okay. Same thing. Value area low, close, and the overnight lows down here. Buyers got to defend that. Okay. Now the thing that it's tough here is this most traded price of the year that I just showed you is right here. Price is right above it. So that makes it a little hard to cut through this. See, when we cut through it, we're already back above it. It's a big level. It's a big level. Okay. So 50% retracement, 186.98 in the NASDAQ. We have our inverse elephant above us. Poor structure, just like in the ES. Thinny thin volume. You can see it, just thinny thin. Okay. Now, I'm going to go right into scenarios here because it's the same. Okay, so let's go out. Now, one other thing. Yes, we are closer to 100% net long in the NASDAQ. All long. All long. Most traded price here, 186. Okay, we are at the top of the session. Primed to get faded. Primed to get faded. Okay, let's go right to scenarios. Now the same thing too. We need to bring the 190. I know I'm a little over the place. I'm sorry. 190. Most traded price of the week. Same thing. Here's the slingshot. Can the market bring value lower? If it can't, that slingshot gets pulled back and gets returned back to value. Okay, that's a rule, G-Man. That's a rule. Now, let's look at our scenarios here. I don't even remember if I put this up or not. That's that lack of sleep I'm talking about. So I'm going to put it up again. I think I did, but all right. Let's go to the short. All right, let's go to that short. What do I want to see? What do I want to see? The same thing. I want to see if we open up. Now, two things here. You can push into this demand, push up. Great. I want to see how it react to this weak high in this area. Same thing. 50% retracement, single prints, all this area. What do we do here? If these single prints act as resistance, that is weak. That's bearish. And then we could correct the overnight activity. Okay? And if we break that demand, and then we, like I said, this monster level, if we start to we crash under that and hold, oh boy. And we got demand down here. We got single prints from the past. We can break these single prints, go all the way down here and go lower. Now, I don't know if that happens. Okay? Just a scenario. Just a scenario. But I think it's probably my favorite. Okay? 200-day moving average on the futures. Overnight high. Value area high. 50% retracement of the move. Single prints act as resistance. Recipe for a rollover. Does that make sense, right? Everybody's overly long, net long. 95% net long in the overnight. Okay? All right. Going to the long. Let's talk long. Long here is basically the same thing. Okay, got demand here, and you got that big monster level. Okay, you got the week to day view up as well. So I want to see, what do we do up here? Boom. If we come in here, okay, we get. Remember, I said this would be bearish, but hey, I know we got a big level here and demand. If we come in here and we start going higher low, market is firming up. Well, we could make that move. And what do we got here? The inverse elephant comes into play here, and we could start ripping through these single prints, ripping right back to value. That's only if the market is strong, okay, and you will rip. That's about it today, folks. All right, long-winded today, I apologize. Hopefully it makes sense to all you guys. Now, if you're new, please, please, hope you got some golden nuggets today. And I understand the stuff I talk about. I would say it's, you don't have to be a rocket scientist, but I would say it is a little more advanced. But once you get it, it's like unlocking a key. All right, so subscribe, set an alert. Come on, get me over 200 subs. All right, and if you enjoy my content, give me a thumbs up or a like. All right, if you want to follow me on X, follow me at Gonzo719. All right, now I post my trades, my day trades, on TikTok. I didn't put my Instagram up here. That doesn't get a lot of views, but I put Instagram and my YouTube shorts and my TikTok at Gonzo719 Trader. You want to see, hey, this guy talks about all this stuff. Well, you want to see why I take the day trade? I do it in detail. So check those out. Okay, check those out. All right. Now, everybody, we got our plans. Mondays are usually like a day to like settle in a little bit. We really got to see. Now, I would be honest with you. That NASDAQ monster level, oh, I wish it was somewhere else. Because that thing's a monster. All right? That thing's a monster. But if we take back that level, that is bearish. So keep that in mind. All right? Everybody, have a great day. Stay green. No trade is a trade. And thanks for joining me today, all right? See you tomorrow.